If your feet feel heavy by nightfall, you're not alone. For millions over 50, sleep doesn't come easily anymore. You lie there, restless, counting the hours, until you remember that old bottle of castor oil sitting under your sink. A remedy your grandmother once mentioned, and one that only a few still know. Maria was 63. For 2 years, she woke up every night around 3 a.m., her legs stiff and her mind buzzing. She tried teas, supplements, even sleep pills. Nothing worked for long. Then one night, she rubbed a few drops of castor oil on her feet. She didn't expect much, but the next morning, she realized something surprising. She had slept through the night. Castor oil has been around for over 4,000 years. It's not magic. It's simple physiology. It calms the nerves, improves blood flow, and sends a message to your body that it's safe to rest again. Ever tried a remedy that actually worked? Drop a heart in the comments. I read every one. And today, we're uncovering what happens when you apply this ancient oil to 3 little-known points, starting with your heels. It always started around 2:30 in the morning. Robert would wake up with a jolt. His feet felt like blocks of ice buried under the covers, refusing to warm up no matter what he did. He was 68. He'd lived through a lot. Back pain, stiff joints, even gallbladder surgery. But nothing disrupted his peace like those cold, aching feet in the middle of the night. He tried double socks, warm baths, electric blankets, even sleeping with a hot water bottle. The cold still crept in. Not just physical, but a kind of inner chill that left him anxious and wide awake. Then one night, out of frustration more than faith, he took a small bottle of castor oil from the medicine cabinet. He poured a few drops into his palm, rubbed them into his heels, and massaged gently for 3 minutes. The oil felt thick and soothing. He focused on slow circles across his heels and arches, pressing into the tension with his thumbs. That night, he didn't wake up. And when he did, it was morning. The science is simple. Castor oil penetrates the skin and stimulates the nerve endings near the surface. It increases microcirculation, especially around the heels where blood flow is often sluggish with age. This creates a steady warmth, not from outside heat, but from your own body waking up again. When your feet are warm, your nervous system calms. Your heart rate drops. Your breath deepens. Your body finally feels safe enough to rest. You know that feeling when your whole body exhales at once? That's what Robert felt, and what many others are starting to rediscover. If you felt that 3 a.m. chill in your bones, this might be the answer. But if cold feet were bad, the next problem is what's leaking from your feet every night. Alice never noticed it at first. Just a little tightness around her socks, a faint pressure near her ankles. She was 59, still working part-time, still walking every morning, still trying to eat healthy. But by evening, her legs felt like they were filled with wet cement. At night, the heaviness grew worse. Not pain, but a dull, dragging weight that settled deep into her bones. She thought it was just age. Everyone gets tired, right? Then one day, while flipping through an old health magazine, she came across a single line that stopped her cold. If your ankles swell by sunset, your lymphatic system may be pleading for help. That night, she tried something different. She warmed a few drops of castor oil between her palms and began massaging around her ankles. Slow circular motions. She propped her legs up with a pillow and let gravity assist. It felt nice, but she didn't expect much. By the 4th night, something changed. The swelling was less. Her legs felt lighter. And when she walked out of bed that morning, there was no dragging, no tension, just ease. The science? Castor oil contains ricinoleic acid, a natural anti-inflammatory. But more than that, it stimulates lymph flow, helping your body flush out stagnant fluid that builds up when circulation slows. The lymphatic system doesn't have a pump. It relies on rhythm, movement, touch. And when the fluid moves, the fog lifts, energy returns. That heavy, invisible weight you've been carrying, it starts to fade. You don't always see toxins, but your body feels them in your joints, in your breath, in your sleep. Alice didn't change her diet. She didn't start a new supplement. She simply gave her ankles what they had been waiting for: attention. If your ankles swell by evening, you need to hear what's next, because what castor oil does for nerves and machines might surprise even your doctor. Paul had always been a light sleeper, but something changed in his 70s. He started waking up gasping, not for air, but from a surge of panic. No bad dreams, no loud noises, just his nervous system snapping awake. He was 72, still sharp, still independent, but now sleep felt like a battlefield. His heart would pound, his breath would catch. Sometimes his hands trembled when he reached for the glass of water on the nightstand. The doctor said it was normal. Stress, they shrugged. Part of aging. But Paul knew his body, and this didn't feel normal. It felt like his system was stuck in high gear, long after the engine had shut off. He didn't want to be on pills. He didn't want to rely on sedatives that dulled him into sleep but left him groggy the next day. One night, during a phone call with his daughter, she mentioned a strange idea. "Try castor oil," she said, "on your feet, right in the middle, where the nerves live." Skeptical but exhausted, he gave it a try. He took a few drops, rubbed them into the center of each sole. Slow, steady strokes across the arch. He pressed his thumb gently into the soft spot just below the ball of the foot, the solar plexus point. The oil was warm, the motion rhythmic. His breathing slowed without him realizing. And then something surprising happened. The next morning, Paul couldn't remember waking up. No surge, no panic, just sleep, deep and uninterrupted. What changed? That point on the foot connects to the vagus nerve, a major part of the parasympathetic system, the part that calms you down. Ricinoleic acid in castor oil seeps through the skin, activates nerve endings, and tells the body, it's okay now. Not every remedy needs to be swallowed. Some just need to be felt. If falling asleep feels like a battle, this step might be your peace treaty. And if nerves matter, you'll want to see what happens to your liver next. George always had a sensitive stomach. Certain foods made him bloat. Even water sometimes sat heavy. But in his mid-60s, something shifted. He felt full all the time. His skin looked dull. His energy dropped by mid-morning. No sharp pain, just sluggishness. He was 66. And though his labs came back normal, he knew something wasn't moving right inside. He could feel it. That silent, slow heaviness building in his gut, his mood, his chest. Then he heard about the arch of the foot, a place traditional healers once called the second liver. A pressure point believed to awaken digestion, flush toxins, and reset the body's filter. He was skeptical, but that night he tried something small. He rubbed a few drops of castor oil into his arch, slow figure 8 motions, thumb pressure, not too hard, not too soft, just enough to feel the muscles respond. He did it for 2 minutes, then went to bed. The next morning he felt lighter, not dramatically, but noticeably, less bloated, less foggy, a little clearer in the face. His breath even felt easier, so he did it again and again. By the 4th night, he wasn't just feeling better. He was moving better. Bowel movements became more regular. Morning stiffness faded faster. He stood taller without even thinking about it. The arch of the foot connects to the liver and gallbladder in reflexology. Massaging it can send signals up the chain, encouraging bile flow, supporting digestion, and waking up a tired detox system. The castor oil helps it reach deeper. Its fatty acid composition soaks through layers of skin and tissue, gently activating the area without overwhelming it. You don't have to drink another detox tea. You don't have to take another supplement. Sometimes you just press where your body already knows to listen. Your liver doesn't just filter food. It filters your energy too. But what happens when castor oil meets your memory center? Susan used to be sharp. Names, appointments, recipes, they all lived neatly in her mind. But lately things had started to slip. She'd walk into a room and forget why. She'd leave tea on the counter, then wonder where it went. And more than once, she asked her husband the same question twice in 5 minutes. She was 71, and while she laughed it off in front of others inside, it scared her. She feared it was the start of something worse, something she'd seen in her aunt, something that stole pieces of you, little by little. Her doctor said it was normal aging, offered a crossword app and a B vitamin, but it didn't feel like enough. Then she heard about a point between the big toe and second toe, a reflex that connects to the pituitary gland, the part of the brain that manages sleep, hormones, memory, and stress. It sounded silly. But one night, she sat on the edge of her bed, took a deep breath, and tried it. She warmed 1 drop of castor oil in her fingers, then gently massaged it into the soft skin between her toes. Just 30 seconds, light pressure, nothing dramatic. She repeated it every night. By the 7th night, something shifted. She finished conversations without circling back. She found her keys on the first try. She remembered the words to her favorite song. And when her husband smiled and said, "You're back," she felt it too. The science. The pituitary gland sits deep inside the brain, but signals can reach it through nerve pathways in the feet. Stimulating that point may support hormone balance, calm the nervous system, and improve mental clarity over time. Sometimes the brain doesn't need more data. It needs a reminder to reconnect. If you've felt foggy lately, this is your gentle reset. And next, we visit the point that keeps your heart from racing. Michael used to fall asleep just fine, but staying asleep, that became the hard part. It always hit around 2 a.m. He'd shoot awake, heart racing like he'd been running. No dream, no noise, just a sudden jolt, thump, thump, thump in his chest. He was 64. And though his heart checked out fine on every test, the fear stayed. Not just the fear of the pounding, but the fear of what it might mean. His doctor said it was anxiety. Try breathing exercises, they offered. But deep down, Michael knew this wasn't just in his head. His body was holding tension it didn't know how to release. It felt like something inside him never got the message that it was okay to rest. Then he read about a spot just beneath the little toe, a zone that reflexologists connect to the heart, a calming point, a pressure that speaks directly to the nervous system. He gave it a try. He warmed a drop of castor oil, rubbed it gently beneath his left pinky toe. Small circles, slow breath. He repeated the same on the right. The oil felt grounding. The motion gave his hands something gentle to do. That night, he still woke at 2 a.m., but the panic didn't come. His heart beat steady. He rolled over and drifted back to sleep. By night 3, the wake-up stopped. He didn't feel sedated. He felt quiet, settled, like the part of him that had been on alert had finally stood down. The parasympathetic nervous system, your body's rest and restore switch, responds to specific inputs. and the area beneath the little toe, when stimulated, helps downshift the system. Castor oil enhances the effect, opening the skin, easing the nerves. Sometimes what the heart needs isn't a pill. It's a signal that it's safe again. Sometimes comfort starts from the ground up, but the real surprise is what it does for your gut. Helen never thought of her digestion as emotional, but the signs were all there. A tight belly after small meals, random bloating that came and went, a feeling of pressure that seemed to have no cause and no end. She was 69, and lately, everything seemed to upset her stomach. Coffee, stress, news headlines, even talking too much at dinner left her feeling swollen and tired. Worse than the discomfort was the mood that followed. Irritable, foggy, low. It wasn't just in her gut. It was in her head, her breath, her patience. Then her niece, a massage therapist, mentioned something odd. "There's a nerve highway," she said, "between your gut and your brain, and sometimes it gets jammed." That night, Helen did something simple. She took a drop of castor oil and rubbed it along the outer edge of her foot, from the heel to the pinky toe. A long, gentle stroke, then again and again. It didn't feel magical, but it felt calming. She did it again the next night, and again. By the fifth night, her belly felt lighter. Her mood surprisingly brighter. She didn't snap at her husband. She didn't feel that silent buzz of irritation beneath her ribs. Even her sleep felt deeper. The outer edge of the foot links to the colon and rectum in reflexology. Massaging that line helps relax the nerves that surround the lower digestive tract and send signals up the vagus nerve back to the brain. Castor oil adds depth. Its properties seep in, calming inflammation and helping the nervous system reset the gut-brain loop. You're not just digesting food, you're digesting thoughts, tension, memory. Sometimes your body isn't asking for a fix, it's asking for a signal. What if your digestion doesn't need a pill, just a touch? And what it does for your immune system might explain why colds don't come anymore. Carla had always considered herself healthy. She wasn't on medications. She ate pretty well, stayed active, got her checkups. But for some reason, every month like clockwork, she caught something. A sniffle, a sore throat, that lingering fatigue that never quite cleared. She was 58, and while it wasn't serious, it was exhausting. Always carrying tissues, canceling plans, wondering if this time it would turn into something worse. She started avoiding hugs, backed out of lunch dates. Every tickle in her throat made her nervous. Then a friend from her yoga class said something strange. "Rub castor oil on the center of your feet," she said. "It helped me stop getting sick." Carla laughed. But that night, curiosity won. She took a small amount of castor oil and rubbed it into the center of each foot, slow, steady circles with the palm of her hand. She didn't rush. She didn't expect anything, but it felt grounding. It became her nightly ritual. By the end of the second week, she realized something odd. No scratchy throat, no sniffles. Her mornings felt lighter, her body stronger. 3 months later, still no cold. The center of the soul, in reflexology, links to the thymus and spine, two key players in immune defense. This area responds to touch, temperature, and pressure, especially when paired with something as absorbent and anti-inflammatory as castor oil. What happens next isn't just local, it's systemic. White blood cells activate, inflammation lowers, your body recenters. And for Carla, the sniffles stopped. She didn't change her diet. She didn't take a new pill. She just touched what had been waiting, quietly, to be awakened. Your immunity might be waiting at your feet. And finally, let's bring it all together with a truth deeper than medicine. It's not just your feet, it's the story they carry. Every step you've taken, every ache, every night you couldn't sleep, every morning you woke up tired but kept going anyway. We've spent this journey exploring points on the feet, but really, we've been talking about something deeper. Maria started with cold feet and sleepless nights. George felt weighed down, bloated, unsure why. Susan was scared by how quickly her memory was changing. Michael's heart couldn't calm itself. Helen's gut felt like it carried years of unspoken weight. And Carla just wanted to stop getting sick all the time. Each of them found relief, not through a new medication or expensive program, but by taking a moment, a few quiet minutes each night, to touch, to breathe, to listen. Castor oil didn't fix them, but their bodies responded, because the body remembers what healing feels like. It just needs a nudge. The arch awakened George's liver. The pituitary point brought clarity back to Susan. The heart zone calmed Michael's racing mind. Helen's belly softened. Carla's immune system stopped whispering danger every few weeks. None of it was dramatic. None of it happened overnight. But when you touch these points consistently, even gently, the body begins to shift, not because of force, but because of rhythm. Something quiet begins to return, a sense of safety, a sense of presence, a sense that your body isn't the enemy, it's the messenger. In a world that pushes fast solutions, this is the opposite. This is the kind of healing that happens slowly, deliberately, and honestly. You don't need another pill. You don't need to do more. You just need a moment and a drop of something your body already knows. Try it for 7 nights. And if something shifts, share it with someone you love. There's still one spot we haven't mentioned, and it may be the most powerful of all. We'll reveal that in the next video.